In the last episode, I introduced you guys to my concept about the possibility of running an air conditioner from solar power. And today we're back into part 2 of that. But a lot of you asked if you missed the install video. Well, there wasn't really an install video because it's not really installed. I'm going to show you here now, but basically we just installed it, like sat it here as a rooftop air conditioner and just closed it all up. So I'm just undoing the tarp here now and I'll show you. We open that up and you see here's our hatch. And we basically just found a bunch of this really cool pool foam. And it's the kind of foam that they use for putting down on the deck around a swimming pool or something to make it, you know, nice cushion and non-skid, so if kids fall or anything like that, it's a little easier on them. It's not a pretty install, but it's purely functional. So all we wanted to do was just isolate the front from the back, because this is a split air conditioner, so that has the rear portion, and it's designed to have the window come right down in the middle, and the window is what actually shields most of the noise to the outside. So when the compressor and the fan is running out here, you don't hear anything inside. You only hear the little blower running inside that's just blowing and dissipating the cold air into the cabinet. It is so quiet. They actually advertised it as being as quiet as inside of a library, and I was like, that's not even possible. I couldn't believe it anyway, but I did want to test it myself, so that's one of the reasons we picked this one. It's very, very high efficiency. I couldn't believe the efficiency numbers on it as well, but that's what we're here to find out. But as you can see, this is all just sealed up. It's got a little duct tape on it, so when we take it off, I mean, when we go sailing or anything, I just have to pull this off. All the templates are now cut. We've already measured and cut everything, and just kind of put it on with duct tape. So there'll be a little bit of mess to clean up, you know, take the glue off and stuff. We'll figure out something better for next time, but for now, it's purely just function for a test. So today is day 2, and we are going to get back to finding out if it's possible to actually run air conditioning on a boat from solar power. That's today. Start of day 2, and as you can see, it is 7:46 a.m. so it's still relatively early in the morning, and we're just kind of getting up and mobile. Hey Tiki, you ready for breakfast soon? I know. And you can also see our gauges here. We're starting the day at 73%, but we're actually just cooking on the electric stove right now. We've got the coffee pot on, and it's running 1240 watts, so that's how much we're actually drawing. And even with a load of 1200 watts, we've still got 25.8 volts. So we're still doing very well there. And over here, you can see we've got our primary electric burner on, running 1200 watts. Sounds like a lot of power, and it is, but boy, when you realize, you know, how little effect it has on the lithium battery bank, the Battleborn batteries have it just, it's nothing. It's no load at all. I mean, you're not going to draw it for hours and hours and hours, and typically it takes maybe 5-6 minutes to boil that much water, so it doesn't actually create that much of a load on the batteries at all, which is quite cool. So anyway, that's where we're starting, day 2, and we'll probably go till, it'll probably be about 11 o'clock before we go to switch this guy on, because we don't need it until it gets hot enough, and that's usually around 11 o'clock, so we'll check in there, see where our power's at. Right, Tiki? Yes, good girl. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, pretty girl. You ready to go upstairs for some breakfast? Good kisses? Good morning.
Morning.
Good girl. Up she goes. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, tickle, tickle, tickle. Woohoo! Tickle, tickle, tickle. Time for breakfast. Yep, straight to breakfast. Get the dinghy in the water, open up our favorite chairs, and this is where we'll have our morning coffee before we get underway. Lots of good projects to do again today. And including we still need to find a place to put this guy, so we need to do some measuring. And I talked to the metal shop in town here, and he's going to send us some pictures of what he's got in stock to fabricate a bracket to mount it on one of our back rails. So whether this side or that side, we'll find out soon. Okay, gotta go. Next project on our list, as you guys know, we've had some issues with our anchor system in the past that we are going to do some preemptive measures with today. So we are here with the anchor windlass and the control box that is down inside our sail locker. I think you remember I showed you that we got a new wireless remote control system that's similar to the one that's on the dinghy davit that works amazing. So we're going to install the control box right here inside the control box for the windlass, and this will be a duplicate or backup system for the handle that keeps giving me a hard time and that I hate. So this will be a backup for that. And then we also have two mechanical switches we're going to install that are a backup for this. So if everything goes down, the mechanical switches are attached to the control box directly, hardwired inside, and don't have any external wiring that can possibly, you know, die in the middle of trying to bring the anchor up because we're moving it around on deck or anything like that. So that will be our ultimate fail-safe. This will be what we use on a daily basis when we're traveling. This will be great, you know, just to have a wireless control, and I can use it from the cockpit if I want. So if I'm running short-handed, I can still do it even while I'm at the wheel. And then we don't have to depend on that wired piece of crap anymore. Yeah, I know. So here's what we're looking at. We need to make some space here, but then yeah, we're just gonna open up this box, take that handle off, and we'll have a look inside, and then we'll see what we're gonna do.
Oh, it's a horrible nightmare.
Oh yeah. It's a bit of an ordeal, but it's mostly, I mean, it's this box right here that's ancient. Yeah. That's from an old control system that doesn't exist anymore. So we're going to remove that and its associated wiring that's mostly all cut already anyway. We'll leave the other wiring intact. You can see everything's still covered with lots of good corrosion-proof resistant stuff, and it's holding up well, so our solenoids are all in good shape. Basically, yeah, we're just going to take this box out and put the new one in its place that's going to be remote control. And then find a place on the outside of the box, maybe on the bottom of the box someplace where we can just reach the switches that will be mechanical on and off the backup system. Okay. So that looks as good as any.
Nice.
Or the front of the panel, whatever we like, we'll see. And with backups on our backups, that's the way I like to have it, because that way if something fails, we got something to just fall back on right away without having to dig out the tools and figure out what the problem is. So very important when it comes to anchoring. I've been stuck a few times when, even the first time we arrived here in the dark, the friggin' anchor remote gave out and would not work. And we were in 20 knots of wind coming in here in the dark and couldn't tell where we were, couldn't put the anchor down. And that was back when I had Alcino on board, and we immediately took our backup anchor and chucked it over the side manually and just got ourselves stabilized. But yeah, I prefer to stay out of those types of situations, so that's why we're doing this work now before we get back underway. So I will turn it over to Sebastian, and he will walk you through what we're doing. Okay, as you can see, it is 11 o'clock. So we're going to try and stay to a schedule here so we know approximately how many hours over the course of this whole test that we're running everything. So 11 o'clock, we're going to turn the system on. You can see right now it is off. And if you look at our display panel here, we are presently sitting at 88%, and we're getting almost 1,000 watts of solar. And our AC loads presently are 53 watts, 56 watts. So I'm going to come back here. Cool thing, this thing has an actual app control, so I can bring it right up on the phone. So I boot it up, and there it says welcome home, and you can see we've got the one there says living room. So we just click on that, and living room says off. So I'm going to turn it on. There we go. And there it is. You see it just turned on. It's set at 26 degrees, as you can see. And if I look at the display here, it tells me that the outdoor temperature is 28.5 indoors 28.5. And we've got it set to bring it down to 26. So it usually hovers around 28 because it's going to get hotter outside as the day goes on. It's 11 o'clock, still early, but by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it's usually 30, 31 degrees around here. So our goal is just to hold it around 27, which is perfect. It keeps the temperature down and the humidity down so that we can still work, because we got a lot of projects going on inside the boat, and Sebastian's just waiting to get my ass out of the way so he can get started. But okay, so there we go. That's it. We started at 11 o'clock, 88%. So you can see we're down some from yesterday. We started at 100%, but of course we're going to lose some each day when we're using an air conditioner, of course. But that's the idea, is to find out how many days we can go before we actually need to run the generator to recharge. So day 2, 11 o'clock, air conditioner on. Just another quick note before I forget. So I know everybody wants to know how much energy this thing actually uses. You remember we were at 50 something watts before. Well, I've turned the fan on now. I'll turn it off actually. And we look over here and you can see we're at 560 watts. So on full blast it's running about 500 watts right now. And then I turn the fan back on. I put it up at number 2 for good air circulation, just to keep blowing the cool air around. And it comes up to 647. So the fan draws about 60 something watts most of the time, which is very efficient also. We're getting 1100 watts on the solar charger already. And we are still putting 220 watts into the batteries, even though we are using 600 watts in the AC loads. So we're still getting over 6 amps at 130 watts. It fluctuates all the time depending on the sun. You can see that that's just under 1,000 now. So it changes all the time, but the point is, at the high point of the day, which it's still just 12 minutes after 11 o'clock, as the sun's increasing its height, we're increasing the amount of power as, of course, the temperature comes up outside. And that gives us more power to keep this running and still putting some charge into the batteries. So overall, yeah, I gotta say I'm very impressed that this thing actually works and we're not just dragging our system down instantly. So yes, today we needed to pick up some new tools for some of the heavier projects we're working on, because I tried to find people on the island that could do it and they never show up. So woodworking, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do it on our own, but we need to get the tools. And of course the tools at least are a lot less expensive than hiring the guys that, you know, don't show up. So anyway, a couple of the tools we got. Let's see. This one, I used to have one in my house workshop many moons ago. I'm sure you guys will recognize, but yeah, it is a belt and wheel sander. So fully adjustable. This comes up like a pedestal if you want to. So for vertical sanding, you got the disc here. So for sanding, grinding, anything like that, basically I need that for doing wood trim, because we're going to do a lot of stuff that has 45-degree angles, but I don't have money for like a big miter saw and stuff like that. So we're going to cut it with our saws and then trim them down using the sander. So that will do the job there. And the other thing we needed, of course, was a circular saw, because we got a lot of big pieces of wood, sheets of wood that we need to cut into pieces. And we're making new doors here, we're making a new cabinet down below, we're going to be replacing this table eventually with a new wood table that's going to be wider and more sturdy again. So we got a lot of these projects on the go that may not happen this month, but I'm getting prepared for it now because we got some of the projects we need to do right now. And the other thing is, yeah, the circular saw here. So this one comes in a not so nice metal box for boat life, so I'm probably gonna have to replace that. It's nice, but it's never gonna last. But it's a nice boat size 5 3/8
cool
cutter.
Really nice.
So like a small circular saw, and it will do the job we need to just fine. And it's rechargeable, so we just charge up the batteries on the boat electrical system and use it as we need it. So I think that will be great. That will help, and we'll just find a soft bed to store it in instead. Same thing for this, we'll find something soft to put it in. I've got a locker set aside that we're going to store all the tools in that's completely moisture resistant, sealed, and it's just going to be for power tools and stuff now. Because I used to keep them all in here, but opening and closing this all the time, of course you get a lot of humidity and moisture, and some of the tools would seize up, so that's not very helpful. So we're going to arrange all that so that when we're traveling, all the tools are locked in a safe cabinet that's dry and not airtight, but definitely is going to stay dry, and no water at all.
This cabin.
Yeah, for sure, more dry than outside for sure. So that will be good. So a lot of projects underway.
Yeah. amazing.
And all at the same time, we're getting wedding plans going. So everybody's going absolutely crazy. So you could say tensions are mounting. What you got?
I think so is the guys.
What guys?
Alejandro.
Your fans from Cali.
Hola, buenos días.
We have fans from Cali,
Oh, mucho gusto,
Colombia.
Alejandro, ¿cómo estás? Bien, Sebastián me dejó tu mandado y el capitán, si quiere encontrarlo, está disponible ahora. No sé.
Ya llegaron.
Sounds like we got fans
Nosotros
visiting
estamos
the
en el
island
bote ahora,
from the
estamos en el
mainland, and they want to
marina.
come and meet us, or us to go meet them. So Maddie's just making plans.
Ok, avísame cuando está aquí que te
I guess
recogemos
our
al
plan for the
muelle.
day just changed. We'll go see what's going on.
En 10 minutos voy por ellos.
5 minutos están aquí al muelle.
Okay,
In
5
5 minutes they are
I
in
go
the
for-
marina.
Okay. Vamos.
Nos volvemos a ver. Con mucho cuidado. Traten de no agarrarse del techito porque el techito, si no es que sea el más.
Sorry?
Que Tiki tiene nuevos amigos.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I've seen it on the video. Wow.
Oh, welcome aboard, everybody.
Thank you.
So you guys are visiting from Cali?
Well, they are. I'm from New York, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is my family. We'll come from Cali.
You're Colombian,
Sorry, I go
now
down.
living in
I'm
New York?
No, I was born in New York.
Born in New York.
Yeah, but my family is from Cali, so
Nice.
pretty much half and half.
Yeah, sorry about the mess, you guys. We
That's
just
alright.
got back from
Yeah.
shopping, new tools. And
Yeah, he's a big follower, you know. He follows all your videos and everything, all your episodes. So
awesome.
it was a big thing for him to come in. and
Always
meet
good to
you
know
here.
somebody's watching in Colombia too.
Yeah, nice.
Well,
We've been here for over a year, I think now.
Every day,
Wow.
every day, watch.
Big thumb.
Oh, really? Thank you so much.
So he heard you're leaving soon, so that's why he wanted to come so bad, you know. He wanted-
Oh, this is for
boat.
sophisticated lady. Oh, with the
Yeah,
color
remember these.
too. With the color
A
too.
dream
Everybody-
keeper.
Dream
what do they-
catcher.
Dream
Dream
catcher.
catcher.
Nice.
Everybody,
Muchas gracias, amigo. Yeah, I think we hang this right here.
Oh, it is a yes.
That's a nice spot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for good luck.
Beautiful spot.
Y este es para el capitán,
Thank you so much.
para que no se olvide de Colombia y
Oh, nice, nice.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Show me.
muchas gracias.
Show me,
Muchas
please.
gracias.
Oh,
Look, Colombia.
wow, yes.
And one of my leather bands.
And
Nice.
so sorry, but today I ride the new Colombia flag because the wind destroyed.
Yeah, not that one.
Yeah.
We just put new flags up a month ago. Yeah. We had
Quitaron las
squalls.
banderas de Colombia eso porque el viento las...
Está puesta, de hecho, pero ya hay solo media bandera.
Hay media, se ha destruido un poquito por el viento y todo. So where are you guys heading next?
We go back to Panama to get ready to go through Pacific.
Okay.
But then I think we're going to spend some time Galapagos, possibly Costa Rica,
Wow, that's nice.
Ecuador, Peru, and then head off into South Pacific. So we want to do some exploring of South America a little bit more first. Yeah, come on in if you like. We got it all closed up because we're just doing those test videos on the new air conditioner.
Oh yeah?
Seeing if we can run it off
So you
solar.
guys have air conditioning here?
Yeah.
It's a little
That's
window one we
amazing.
put up on top, but we're running it from solar power.
Wow.
That's the more amazing.
That's... Well, it sounds... I don't know, I gotta see that.
That's
Yeah,
the
it's a
interesting part of the
portable.
video, is we're
Wow.
actually sustaining it from solar power.
Nice color.
nice.
Wow, it's amazing. Beautiful. A leaf.
Beautiful, it's a leaf.
Basil leaf. I love it.
Beautiful.
Very nice here.
Thank you so much. Very nice. Thank you.
Sorry, Maddie?
They bought the ticket fly in December and they crossed the finger all this time that you don't, don't leave San Antonio.
I think we are leaving.
No? So Sebastian, where's...
Oh, lindo. Con lo-
Ojo de tigre.
Ojo de
Ojo de tigre es
And then he's so...
The
big-
tigre.
Eye of the tiger.
Colombia.
It's very strong color. It's very nice. I think
So you know the meaning of the colors?
Sí, la de Torito y la Colombia.
It has a meaning.
The yellow, red, and blue.
The blue is the oceans.
Yeah.
Here in Colombia. The red is the blood.
The blood of our warriors.
Exactly. And then the yellow is the gold, that they
we
stole
don't have
Our
anymore.
that they stole
richness.
from us.
But I did some videos on the history of the gold harvesting out of South America and coming around, especially up the west coast, you know, or up and around Chile, Peru, and up into Panama, and that's where they brought it up into Panama before the canal was even there, and used to use just donkey carts and stuff on a railway to take it across, mostly to, what's our favorite?
Portobello.
Portobello. Mostly to Portobello. They bring it all over to Portobello in Panama, and that's where they load it on the ships out of there and take it back to Spain.
You think it's sometime then cross the Atlantic?
Entonces
Oh, yeah.
dice que
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've already done like 10,000 miles of Atlantic crossings, just not over to Europe.
que él te ha hecho como 10,000
Sí.
millas cruzando
Sí,
el
o sea,
Atlántico, pero solamente no hacia
No
Europa.
hacia Europa, sino aquí.
No entendemos nada, pero lo vemos todos los días. Tienen que ver los días for the solar panel. You put
For the
there.
solar system.
You did it yourself, right? You put it yourself and everything.
Oh yeah, every
He
single
did
thing.
everything. He did his.
Todo lo aquí lo hace él. So you're working every day on the lady.
Every day.
Oh, Magdalena. Ah,
Hey, ¿qué marca es este?
Magdalena, la Magdalena ayuda
Is it
mucho.
the-
Magdalena.
Does he has is it a brand like a boat?
I imagine if you walk in
The
me
brand
every
is
day, you
Genoa.
know?
It's made by Genoa in France.
You know el francés.
Francés también.
Benetton, ¿es francés?
They're busy.
Andrea, la chilena. Hello.
Hola.
Hola, Tiki. Le caí,
What's
pero le
going
caí.
on? What's going on? Hey, Tiki, you pretty girl.
De adentro. Eso.
Agarra ahí, no se agarra ahí. Ok, Capi.
Ciao, amigos.
Chao, amigo.
How we doing?
Nice. Everything fine here. I just replacing the old terminals for install the new pump.
Yeah, it's one of the new whale Gulpers,
Yeah.
and that's the old pump,
Yep.
which is basically just one of our old water pumps. But yeah, you guys might remember those whale Gulper pumps. That's one of my new favorite things on the boat. I mean, I've only got about 2 years experience with them so far, but they work awesome. I mean, very, very good. Great water flow. They're quiet, they don't make a lot of noise, don't draw a lot of power, and you don't even need to put a pre-filter on them because they're designed to just take any of the garbage. Even if you put them on a sump in the bilge, they'll just take it all out and shove it straight out and, you know, pump it overboard. So small pieces, hairs, anything like that. And I've tried them out just for the toilet flushing right now, but I think eventually we're going to switch over even the shower sumps and stuff like that. Maybe even the bilge pump, I don't know. So far, the first one I installed under my cabin has been there for 2 years, working flawlessly. The one we just put in under Madalena's cabin, that one's 1 year now, flawless. So now we're putting one under this side and see how it does also. And they're about $170 each, but you remember the old pumps we're replacing were the diaphragm type pumps that the rebuild kit alone was $80, and you have to replace those, you have to rebuild them every few years, so it gets expensive after a while. So I'm going to be curious to see how long we actually get out of these pumps, but at $170, yeah, you can afford to keep some spare pumps, and that way even if the motor dies, anything, whatever happens, you just put in a new one. Not quite as expensive as the old ones, because the old ones to replace the pumps was about $400, you know, maybe $300 depending on where you bought, but anyway, these are really good. So far I give them 2 thumbs up. High recommendation, the Whale Gulper pumps.
Now everything is new again.
Yeah.
Not only the pump, all the hose clamps, the wire, the terminals. I hope can work for another 25 years.
Well, yeah, I don't know about 25 years.
But
The
maybe.
clamps and stuff that were down there before, they're not that old, but sometimes you get good clamps, sometimes you don't. So whenever we see a clamp that's on a line that's below the water level, like below the water level, the sea level outside, if it's got any rust on it at all, we just replace it now, automatic. Don't even bother wasting time with it, just take it off and put on a new one. So I keep a lot of stock, new hose clamps now, and definitely worthwhile. Keep a good inventory, all sizes, shapes, different grades, because some are good, some are bad. You never really know until you try, right? So always good to have extras just to replace them with. That's the lessons I've learned. Well, time for first test. You got water? Okay, I hear it working good. I don't see any leaks anywhere. Nothing dripping. Sounds good, sounds smooth. Sounds perfect, looks perfect. No leaks. Good job, Daniel-san.
Thank you, Sensei.
I think it's time to call it a day. Because it is almost 5 o'clock. And I always try and cut out at 5 o'clock, get everything cleaned up, and as you can see, we still got a lot of cleanup to do, installing the new tools and everything. So yeah, as you can also see, we didn't get back to the anchor winch project because it got too hot outside. And that's no fun working in the dead of the afternoon heat. So we rescheduled that one for tomorrow morning, first thing, and came inside and worked inside the refrigeration, the air conditioning instead. Replaced the pump, a couple other little things, all good.
Oh,
5:13, as you can see, end of the day, and we are finished. We got all our shit stowed. The boat is looking reasonably respectable again, because yeah, I like to have everything stowed and put away for happy hour, sundown. We can go up and have a chill drink on the bow and watch the sun go down. It looks like a nice one tonight. So, but we are finished with this guy. Oh, but to show you, at the end of the day, we are at 90%. You see we're still drawing 580 watts. Okay, I'll shut this fan off. And that drops to 505. Yeah, so you can see the difference there. Still getting 300 watts of solar, which isn't too bad. But we are at 90%, as I said. So percentage is actually quite good. But now we don't need the air conditioner anymore, so now I will shut it off. And that's it. End of day 2. So we will pick this up in the morning, new projects, and more testing on the AC system. And finito. Over and out. Mañana, man.